What up, reader fam? Today I'm going to be talking about two of my favorite things. One of those things being reading and the other thing being traveling. These are two of my favorite things to do in the world. The unfortunate thing for me is that they just don't mix well. So today I want to talk about the struggles I have as a reader while traveling. Often before I go on a trip, I have this image in my mind of what it's going to look like, and I always imagine myself reading a million books. The unfortunate thing is that I feel like I'm never able to create that image. It just stays up here in my head. It doesn't become an actual thing that happens. Traveling can sometimes completely mess up my reading life. First up, let's talk about packing. Let's be real, if you're traveling on a plane, you can't take as many books as you'd like. Obviously, this is where a Kindle comes in handy, but sometimes a Kindle just doesn't cut it. Sometimes you just want to bring every physical book ever, because sometimes you just prefer physical books over ebooks. Sometimes you just want to feel the soothing touch of paper on the tips of your fingertips. Sometimes you just want to give a physical book a big old sniffy sniff. Sometimes, okay, I'm just gonna stop there because this is starting to get a little bit weird. But I feel like a lot of you guys are relating to me right now. So I usually end up packing at least 2 books on my carry-on because I gotta have some options. I also have my iPad where I read on my Kindle app. If one book doesn't catch my attention, then hopefully the other book will. And if neither of those books are doing it for me, then I've got my iPad. Now, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I pack an extra option or 2 in my suitcase, but you don't get access to your suitcase while on the airplane. There has been the occasion when I've gotten on the airplane, I have my carry-on with my 2 books and I've got my Kindle, and then the urge hits me to read the book that's in my suitcase, and I can't get to my suitcase. The freaking struggle. Now comes the action of actually reading on an airplane or reading at an airport. This is a skill that I'm still learning to master. It's just so noisy sometimes. When you're in the airport, you've got people talking loudly, people hustling to make their flights, kids literally running around you playing tag while you're trying to read. Can you tell I'm speaking from experience here? Because I am. Oh, and sometimes you have a lady who is sitting across from you at the airport who is listening to the 50 Shades of Grey audiobook out loud, and you're just too shocked and uncomfortable to read. Yes, this actually happened, and there were children around us. Some people got a lot of nerve. I don't know if she just didn't realize the audiobook was playing out loud, but it was. So not only is it difficult to read at the airport, but I find it difficult to read on the plane as well. Again, with the whole noise factor, you've got the plane itself, which is loud and obnoxious. On top of that, you've got all these humans on the plane who chit-chat it up, and we've got announcements coming from the flight attendants every 5 minutes, and then the person next to you needs to go to the bathroom, or they need to get something out of the top carrier thing, so they've got to interrupt your reading. Sometimes you've got screaming babies, which again, I have not mastered the skill of reading while babies are screaming. I honestly don't think I ever will. Sometimes you got kids kicking the back of your seat, and honestly, usually while reading, I can zone everything out, but for some reason, when I'm in the plane, everything is just like heightened. Everything is just so much louder than it normally is. Another thing is just being uncomfortable. Usually when I'm reading, I'm at home, alone, in bed, on the couch. I've got a blanket, I've got a pillow, I've got a drink. It's just the most comfortable thing in the universe. Throw me in an airport or on an airplane and that messes with my reading chill. And being comfortable plays into my reading experience. If I'm not comfortable, I'm not gonna be able to read because I'm gonna be too focused on being uncomfortable. And I ain't about to pay for first class. Hello, I can use that money for books. I also always find it really difficult to read on an airplane because I usually take notes while I'm reading and there's not much room to move around. So I'm like throwing my elbow into the person next to me as I switch between my notes and my book. Especially if it's a 3-seater and I sit in this middle seat right here. We gonna have some issues, y'all. Something that I do love though is when I sit down in my seat, we take off, and then the person next to me opens up a book. It's like we're in the Mile High Reading Club, a secret book club that only takes place in the air. So then, after all this traveling, I've made it to my destination, and the realization sinks in that I'm probably not going to get any reading done. One part of me wants to read, the other part of me wants to experience things and to write my own story. That was so cheesy, but it's so true. You don't want to just sit in bed and read all day. You didn't pay to go all that way just to sit and read. So you've brought all these books with you, and you don't even end up reading them. And you risk them getting damaged in the traveling process. But it's still worth it because it's the comfort of having them and being able to read them whenever you want. Ah, books. So those are a few things that I struggle with as a reader while traveling. You guys should let me know down below if traveling affects your reading life at all. Do you relate to any of my struggles? Tell me I'm not the only one. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so click subscribe if you want to be notified for when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, choo. What up, reader fam? Today I'm going to be doing the Christmas festive book tag.